Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. We finally have a good look at the new Call of Duty title here at CoD Next. All the players have now got their hands on the game and we saw some phenomenal gameplay. It's got to be said today, lots of positives to take away from this one. The game looks, it's got to be said, far better than last year's Modern Warfare 2. Shotzzy feels the same way. Says that not only is it the smoothest CoD in terms of movement that he's played in at least a very long time, but also the time to kill seems way better. In addition, the aim assist is weaker. Skill gap might be back in business. What are we talking about? Very much into your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. So CoD Next began today and, well, we got to see all the gameplay. It was immediately, as soon as the embargo period ends, everything's hitting the timeline. Sprat's here with the sniper rifle. Love to see it. Sniping looks really fun as well in this game, I'm not going to lie. And we got, well, movement is back. And the immediate thing that I got watching some of this gameplay was that not only does the game look pretty fun, but the time to kill is much more reasonable. I know that it's still, you know, it's not slow, it's not Black Ops 4, but I think it's much more reasonable than we've had the last few years, especially given the fact that back in the old school days, Black Ops 2, Ghost, the TTK was fast, no doubt. You killed quick in those games, but the hit registration back then wasn't as good as we have today, and the aim assist was weaker back then. It was more difficult to shoot straight, and also the aim assist over distances simply disappeared. So what we've had in recent CoD games with the fast time to kill on these Infinity Ward games, plus how easy it is to shoot, has made for some ridiculous titles, especially in terms of skill gap. This is a step back in the right direction. Here's Dashy and his son Cellium getting ready to go for the event. And of course they went through firstly the creator class type stuff, looking at how that goes. Okay, it's not dramatically dissimilar and it's not pick 10. So, you know, they know what they're doing. They believe that doing this stuff with the infinite attachments makes people spend more in the store. And maybe that's true. Maybe it keeps them around in the game longer, because I can't think of any other reason why they're so obsessed with this gunsmith thing, unless because if you're a casual player getting home from work every day just to hop on for 20-30 minutes to play a bit of CoD, you know, I'm sure your mind is just blown, because my mind doesn't understand the CoD, like all this gunsmith stuff. It's difficult to get your head around, even as like a pretty hardcore competitive CoD enjoyer. If you're a casual player, I'm sure that it's a challenge, to say the very least, but I guess they must think that it makes them more money in the long term, so I can only imagine that's why they do it. But at the end of the day, we've got the vest, we've got the gloves, the boots, and the gear. That's how you select your perks effectively. The covert sneakers, that's your dead silence perk. There will be some interesting other ones, some of which might be GA'd, but it's dead silent, and it seems pretty much dead silent, which is definitely what we want to see. They might make changes, but let's be honest here, what Cellium have done with this game is far better than what Infinity Ward have done over the last couple of years, which is, well, certainly last year. It's better than Vanguard as far as I'm concerned as well. Cellium's most recent title, and the maps are, as they were back in the day, spectacular. I mean, as we can see here, you can do the classic thing on the crane. You run up the crane if nobody notices you. I saw that Scump was playing high-rise Harpwood, and someone had also got up on the jump spot on the other side of the map. So, yeah, I wonder if the pros will get that gentleman's agreement here. But yeah, I mean, look at this. The ACR, all the jump spots. It does bring you back a little bit, to be honest, to back in the day. And yeah, the gameplay looks fun. It looks good. It makes sense. And yeah, I mean, I didn't even buy this most recent CoD. I decided, you know what, Joe Seacott has had enough of my money over the years. He's not getting any more, and I don't regret the fact that I didn't buy and play Modern Warfare 2. This game, I think, will change the course on that one, and I think I will be back in business this year, because there's a lot of promise with this title right now. Map voting is back as well. Rust or Favela, those are the questions being asked in the game, which has been not a thing for some time. And this is what the time to kill looks like from Shotzy's POV. You've got to hit a fair few bullets. I mean, as we can see, he's not dying immediately. He's got to stay on target for some time. The pros shoot very straight as well. This is what you got to say. Like, if you're watching Scump or Shotzzy, the time to kill is going to look pretty fast because they're not really missing shots. But even then, it's not easy to shoot in this game as it has been before. You can miss. It does seem to take a bit more skill. That's certainly what Shotzzy seems to believe as well. There is, of course, the return as well of the beautiful ELO sight here from Black Ops 3, and also the red dot is pretty similar to the one we had in Vanguard, but that's a nice detail as well to add. And look, let's look at some gameplay. Shotzzy gave some interesting thoughts on this as well, with the way that it was playing. Scump was, as expected, absolutely frying it, let's be honest. And I'm sure, look, Scump decided to retire, and I don't blame him. I'm sure there's part of Scump today that thinks, you know what, damn, if I'd just have stuck it around, especially given the fact that Scump had on the cards a return this season. We know that he felt 90% sure that he wanted to do it, but he wasn't 100% sure, so he decided, you know what, I'll stay retired and Kenny can come in instead. There was a world in which Scump makes a different decision, and that OpTic team is Dashy, Scump, Pred, and Shotzzy, and yeah, it feels a bit of a shame that Scump isn't competing anymore, because he's certainly good and he was absolutely cooking in the gameplay. I mean, some of these clips were immense. So I'll share what Shotzzy had to say, especially on the aim assist, but then also just some gameplay moments, because yeah, it looks like Modern Warfare 2 for sure. It looks the same like graphically, but it doesn't seem to look the same in terms of gameplay, and it doesn't seem to look the same or feel the same in terms of the gameplay experience itself.
Screen lag.
Securing objective Alpha. The enemy has captured 2 objectives. Get them secure.
That is so dog shit. It's actually trash.
Hostile Guardian has been deployed.
30 seconds remaining.
Taking effective fire.
Enemy team has been eliminated.
Are you on mobile?
Requesting recon.
Copy. UAV is on station. Online.
Who was that?
It's down to you.
Don't let me do it to you. Alright, listen to me. You guys listening very closely? Bro, the aim, I think we're back, bro. The aim assist actually takes skill, dude. I'm not even trolling. I think, though, unless I'm tweaking. Unless I'm tweaking as fuck, the aim assist feels like hella good, dude. Like, bro, it doesn't feel as OP as every other COD felt. No bullshit. I'm being dead ass. I'm being dead serious.
Someone's OP March is up top.
Friendly UAV on station.
Bro, you guys think I'm getting in the OBJ? Are you serious?
Ready to deploy.
Oh, hell no. Oh! I wanted it! Do the... Yo! Oh! 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 Yo, hold up! We're finding the groove! We're finding that shit! What the fuck is going on? There's... Oh no, the game's about to end though, dude.
So as Shotzzy said, the aim assist, from that perspective, I guess we'll look at that first, actually takes skill. And this has been a big talking point for some time. To be honest, I didn't think they were going to address it. And this is the thing that, yes, we're celebrating things that were in COD previously and aren't anymore. And it's like, well, we shouldn't be celebrating because they should have done this all along. Fine, but we know how things have gone. Things always tend to go off a cliff like this, and maybe they've realized what they should be doing instead. He says it feels weaker. I know there's other people as well that have said, yeah, it's not as sticky, it's not as snappy as it was before. Especially over longer distances, you do have to aim a bit more than you previously did. Back in the Black Ops 2 days, there was lots of talk from Crimsix and Aches and other pros about left stick aiming, not aiming with your right stick, right? It was all about ensuring that you're using your left stick to move left and right to strafe, and you're using that to hit shots as much as, if not more, than using your actual aimer to shoot. In the last few games, the strafe speed has been reduced dramatically, and the aim assist is stronger. There's less of that, and I think there is, as a result, less skill gap in terms of shooting, and the longer time to kill means the players that really shoot straight are going to be having a significant advantage, which is definitely a good thing. So, yeah, Shotzzy says that's a positive sign, and also, of course, he discusses the movement right. Yes, there's these sneakers that give you, like, the slide and ADS speed. And that is what Shotzzy is having a good time with at the moment. Whether that is allowed or the pros decide not to allow it in competitive, that's a question for a later date. But he reckons it's smoother in terms of movement than any other CoD game he's played. And looking at some of the gameplay, you can't really blame him for that statement because, yeah, Shotzzy was cooking, there's no doubt, sliding all over the shop. Like, you can tell this game, although, as I say, visually, graphically, it looks very similar to the most recent title. It's clearly a different game. It looks way more fun to play and, frankly, to watch. Some of the stuff that Shotzzy was doing already, you can't really do that in the last couple of CoD titles. Jumping off things, sliding off things. You slide forever as well. He also smoked Zinni as well, which is something that wouldn't be possible in the most recent couple of titles. And this poor guy as well, I don't know if we found out who this is yet, CoD Next 084, but yeah, Shotzzy completely embarrasses the poor guy, unfortunately, so yeah, hopefully we find out who that is. It wasn't Zinni, because Zinni was actually going as methods. So yeah, there was a lot going on. Scump also kind of got the world's first, like, 1v3 ace as well here, so, you know, just classic stuff from Scump, no real surprise. And this is what Octane says, and I get it from his point of view. Oh no, right, you know, a bit of a mistake maybe that Octane made. I think what he's getting at is that, yeah, maybe retiring wasn't the best decision. I'm sure he doesn't regret it, but one of the primary reasons for the retirement of so many pros over the last 3 to 4 years, really since the CDL, MWIII, Cold War was good, but it wasn't good enough to keep Formal around. I think the pandemic and the online stuff really hurt that as well, to be fair. Then Vanguard was far from great. Modern Warfare 2 was maybe marginally better, but it still wasn't a good title. And we've lost the likes of Karma, Crim, Scump, Formal, Octane, you know, all of these great players over the last few years, missing a few as well, and Apathy, you know, guys like this that have stepped away. Kalista's still going, there's a couple of others that are still around, but mostly all these greats have now called it a day. And Octane might be thinking, well, because Octane retired at the peak of his powers, as did Scump, to be honest. Okay, maybe Scump wasn't quite as insane as he was a few years ago, but both of those players were still easily CDL caliber. They called it a day because the games were going downhill, and I don't blame them at all, and I'm sure there were other reasons, you know, the commitment to scrims, there's other factors for sure, but it's probably part of Octane, and there's probably part of Scump that thinks, maybe I should have stuck with it one more year. And then next year, of course, is Treyarch's game. So that's a whole another story. Speaking of Treyarch, though, they are again working on the ranked play mode for Modern Warfare 3. And their developer guy here from Cellium says it will be coming through Season 1.5. So this is maybe like mid-December sometime, or possibly January. I don't know. Obviously, the hope is that it's going to be earlier, but yeah, they're saying it's during Season 1 at the very least, which is a good sign. Now, it's happened before where they say it's going to be this time and then it gets delayed. And obviously people say, oh, it should be there on release. And I get that. But at the end of the day, making this stuff happen on release is a massive challenge because you don't really know what the competitive maps and modes are going to be necessarily on release. You don't really know what the meta's going to be, what things need to be banned and everything. So I think it's worth, ideally, ranked play launches maybe 2 weeks after release. Give the pros a couple of weeks to figure out a rule set and then drop ranked. The reality is often it takes a bit longer than that, but I don't think it's the end of the world, and if it could come out in December, that would be a good step. Better than like February, March, whatever we've had, which has been a shambles for the last couple of seasons. Then they went to play some Warzone, and the first ever win here on Warzone 3 went the way of Scump Shotzzy and Methods, and look at this from Shotzzy as well. Like, he's just taking the mick at this point, isn't he? I mean, the movement looks fun. Okay, I mean, look how far he went on that slide. It was actually outrageous. So, yeah. Good fun. Shotzi's great fun to watch in this game. I mean, this game kind of feels like it's built for Shotzzy in some respects, and we know that his teammate Pred is good at every game he plays, it seems. So, yeah, boding well for that OpTic team as we discussed earlier today. There was also big news with Fortune's Keep and Rebirth Islands both returning into Warzone for 2024. There's been lots of talk about the maps that were in Warzone and aren't anymore and the frustrations about it, and they've listened and they're bringing some of that stuff back. And it's good that CoD is recognizing to some degree, even if it's only Sledgehammer and Treyarch and maybe Infinity Ward haven't realized this yet, but, you know, it's good that they're recognizing they've made mistakes over the last few years in the direction they've taken with the game, and reversing that. The fans like it, and I know that it's frustrating to be celebrating things we should have had all along, but they're at least humble enough to, well, maybe they're not humble enough, but you know what I mean. They respect that they've made errors and they're trying to correct them, which I think is good. So that's pretty much where we're going to leave it for today. There was lots more to discuss on this over the coming days as well. Gameplay updates, how things are going to work. So we'll get into it tomorrow morning. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.